TCU Tennis falls short in the national championship match, but it's the type of loss that could spur the program to new heights.
You are Locked On Horned Frogs, your daily podcast on the TCU Horned Frogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Locked On Horned Frogs, your team every day. I'm your host, Steven Simcox. I've been covering TCU athletics for the past 12 years. Bonus episode today. If you're confused, this is all about TCU Tennis because they played Wake Forest on Sunday night in the national championship match. I have a full long-ranging episode talking about football, baseball, and a little tennis as well. That's also up on the YouTube feed or on your favorite podcast feed. But I wanted to take a minute because I recorded that on Sunday afternoon to talk about David Roditi and the TCU men's tennis team, which unfortunately they fell to Wake Forest 4-2 on Sunday night, but made the national championship match again. Weren't quite able to defend their title, but got really close. And I was there last night in person. I went to the Hurd Tennis Center to watch these two teams square off. There was a brief moment in that match where Wake won the doubles point. You get into the singles matches. Wake went up 3-0. They won a couple singles matches, so it's 3-0. But Louis Maxey and Albert Pedrico for TCU won their singles matches almost simultaneously. Louis won a tiebreak in set 2, and then Albert wins in set 3. And so now it's 3-2 Wake Forest. And there were two matches still going on. They were in the third set. So Cooper on one court for TCU, and then Pedro on another court for TCU. And both guys were tied up at 3 games apiece against their opponents. And almost at the same moment, like it was still an uphill battle, but there was a clear path. Like if both these guys win these matches, then TCU's your national champion again. But almost at the same time, both of them got broken when they were on serve. It was suddenly 4-3 Wake on both courts. And then both Wake players were back on serve. And things sort of unraveled from there. So it ends up 4-2. The last match didn't finish because there was no need to. But TCU fought. I mean, they were, as you would expect from this team and this program, which has been so great over the years, and won tough matches against Texas, against Virginia, had a fight in the round of 32 against Oklahoma, but they made it there. And they fought hard against Wake Forest. They just couldn't quite do it and came up a little bit short. Wake was very, very good. You could tell from the moment it started, I mean, the doubles point, it wasn't really that close. TCU had so much trouble when Wake was on serve, and then even when the Frogs were on serve, they just weren't able to win some of those games. It was 3-0 on all 3 courts at one point. And TCU kind of made a push, but they were never really totally in it. And Wake Forest has a lot of energy. They had a lot of intensity. They were 40-1 this year. I mean, you saw the talent and I think the focus of a team that sort of felt like, okay, this is our moment. We have to go get it and go get the job done. But super proud of TCU. Had an incredible season. It's really tough to be the hunted instead of the hunter. TCU Tennis has been good for a long time, but breaking through, they won a couple indoor titles, breaking through and winning an outdoor title against Texas last year was such a big moment for the program. And not that it solidified them or anything like that, but it just put them in a different tier when we talk about like great teams and great programs across the country. And they came in with super high expectations this year. And honestly, I mean, I think they met those expectations. Like there's only one champion each season. It wasn't the Frogs this year, but they pushed Wake in the indoors. That time it was 4-3, and Jack had a, set 3 to try and win it. They pushed him in the outdoors. It was 4-2, but I mean, it kind of went down to the wire there. And if Pedro and Cooper could have flipped those sets, then we're talking about a totally different thing. But I want to take a moment to talk about something that was sort of a narrative during the week. I love what TCU did, and I'm super proud of the season they had. I hope this is not like, it's not a wake-up call. There's no crisis happening here. This is still a great team and a great program. But I hope this is the type of thing that pushes them even more to say, okay, how do we dig deeper? How do we like find the magic sauce we need to continue to do this on a year in and year out basis? Because Wake this offseason, they went heavy in the transfer portal. And in fact, David Roditi kind of felt like he took a shot at them after the Texas match. And I'll talk about that next and what it could mean for program building and team building moving forward. We'll do that here on Locked On Horned Frogs here in a moment. I do want to talk about Monarch Money, though. Go to monarchmoney.com. You can use code LOCKEDONCollege for 50% off your first year. Again, that's monarchmoney.com. LOCKEDONCollege for 50% off your first year. It helps with budgeting, but it also helps with, it's your wealth management center. It's a place where you can build wealth. Do it today. Monarchmoney.com. Again, 50% off your first year if you use that code LOCKEDONCollege. It'll help you control your spending, but it'll also help you with your investments. You can put all your accounts in one place. Go to Monarch Money. Give it a try today. So after that Texas match, which was an incredible win for TCU. On court 6, Roger Pascal wins in 3 sets and sends TCU to the finals again. And Coach Roditi was talking with the broadcast team because ESPN Plus was doing broadcasting there all week long. And he said that Wake went shopping this offseason. That was, the way he put it. And it appears, they spent a lot of money in the transfer portal. They built a pretty stacked lineup. And that showed up in the championship match on Sunday night. But for TCU, I do wonder. I know it's really awesome how pretty much all the impact players that were there on Sunday night are guys that went through the program. Like from freshman year until they turn pro, or freshman year into senior year, they've been frogs and they've been outstanding. And that's really commendable that they've done it that way. And I get the impression from afar, as an outsider, that Coach Roditi puts a huge emphasis on culture. And it shows up. I mean, you saw a team through this NCAA tournament run that was banged up, that had multiple moments where it was kind of like backs against the wall. Is this going to be the end of the run? And they found a way to fight back. Pedro is not 100%. In set 3 against Texas, he could hardly move. He was more mobile last night, but I still imagine he was pretty banged up. And he fought a really good opponent in DK Suresh for 3 sets. And, I mean, he was right there. On court 6 in the quarterfinals and the semifinals. And even in the finals last night with Duncan Chan, going against a really good opponent. They had a couple wins there. Duncan pushed it to 3 sets last night. You see a team that is mentally tough, that is bought in, that is together. And I think all that is a huge positive. I feel like you can keep that core group and you can keep that culture together, but you can also go invest and look in the portal and go find some talent that way too. If they want to build it mostly through high school guys or amateur guys that are coming to TCU, I think that's fine. I just hope that they're not completely ignoring. I know they're not completely ignoring, but I hope they understand that that's also a huge resource here. And I say that understanding, I think the biggest challenge in college sports today, and some of you have given me some heat in the past because you're like, you act like TCU's poor. No, I know that the university does really well. Okay. I remember the type of cars that were in the parking lot when I drove my Nissan Sentra there and parked it. I get that so many alumni do outstanding work and are doing great financially and are willing to generously give to TCU. I do feel like it's a challenge, though, in this day and age. There's just so many sports to support. And we'll see how it changes the revenue sharing. But it's like you want to be great in football. You want to be competitive and great in basketball. Women's basketball is a sport where TCU seems to have made a financial commitment as well, which is awesome. I'm excited for Mark Campbell. Beach volleyball is a sport that's thriving here at TCU. They just won a national title. You need to invest there. Women's soccer is a sport that's done really well. You need to invest there. Tennis, you go down the list. If you want to be good at everything, it's tough to allocate all those funds in different places. But TCU Tennis, men's tennis especially, is obviously a place that needs to be invested in because of the success and the track record that they've built. And so I think there's a way to do that, but also maintain the culture and a lot of the core values that you built with this program through the years. I expect them to be back next year. I expect them to be really good again, and I'm going to enjoy following them. It was fun to follow them this season. Congratulations on an outstanding year. Offseason starts now, and I'm sure they're going to start building for the future. We'll be back on Tuesday. It's Locked On Horned Frogs, your team every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel.